Hey there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the LampLighters podcast. I'm Jaylen Corver. Alongside me is Lauren Smith. On this episode, Erik Karlsson. Will he stay or will he go? What is going on in the nation's capital? And the rookie scoring race. Brock Besser, Matt Barzal, Clayton Keller. Who's going to be leading the pack at the end of the year? And, as always, we'll take a look at the current standings of the NHL. All this and more on the December 14th episode of the LampLighters podcast. Well, Lauren, obvious place to start off this week. Biggest news going on for a while, I guess. What is their deal out there?
What's going on with Erik Karlsson?
Yeah, I mean, Karlsson, Ottawa, everything's going on out there. What's up?
So essentially, a lot of this stems from Drew Doughty made the comment that him and Karlsson are going to be talking come free agency. And then Karlsson said that, regardless of where he went, when he goes to market, he's going to get what he's worth. No less. Which, especially considering the fact that, his contract is a season and a half out. Not a great thing to hear. People have talked about, I know Zach's made comments on the fact that John Tavares hasn't signed yet and what that does to the locker room. But John Tavares has only said that he wants to re-sign with the Islanders. Erik Karlsson is currently heavily implied that he may not re-sign with the Senators. Obviously, he kind of tried to backtrack a couple days ago, said that those comments were taken out of context. I don't know how out of context that quote can be. He's saying that his goal is to win in Ottawa, but at the end of the day, that's that comment, when you say no matter where you're going to be, regardless of the context, that doesn't sound good.
No, definitely not. Part of me thinks this is all just a smoke show, that he's just trying to drive up his value a bit with threatening to leave. But I can definitely see Ottawa wanting to hold on to him. I mean, they've already said that that's their goal, to keep him long term. And I can definitely see Karlsson just threatening this. But I think he's just too big of a player to possibly go out on the free agent market. I think he'll eventually re-sign in Ottawa.
I don't disagree that's a bit of a threat on his part, but the timing of this to me is poor, because you now have to sit in a locker room with your guys for a season and a half. What does that do to the climate of that locker room?
Well, evidently, you can look at Ottawa's record for the past couple weeks and see how good they've been doing. 2 wins in their last, 14 games?
Yeah,
is that over?
Yeah. Something like that. They've been doing well. Their PDO, which is kind of their luck stat, indicates they should start to get better. Their possession is alright. So I think that right now, it's like any team, it's a slump. I think they just have more eyes on them, especially with the Karlsson stuff coming out. But I think they're a team that's proved over the last couple of years that they shouldn't be underestimated. So,
no, I mean, last year they were, a goal away from making the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah. I think that people, especially, fans like Zach, who are fans of teams in the Atlantic, who have kind of downplayed the Sens in the past, want them to be worse than what they are, because, well, then they're right. And so I think people right now are looking for any reason to tear down the Senators, because they outperformed what they were expected to over the last, 3 years or so. So, I mean, it's easy. You're just sitting there going, well, I knew they weren't that good. And I think that's what a lot of people want to do right now, is like, well, I knew they weren't that good, look at this.
Yeah, because they have a lot of good young guys. I mean, Mark Stone is an awesome forward to have. A young guy. They have plenty of good defensive prospects. Their goaltending, Anderson, is a decent goaltender. He should be fine. It's just, maybe they've just been a little unlucky this year so far.
Yeah, and mean, the reality is, if there's any division where you can make it in without being the strongest team in the league, it's the Atlantic.
Oh yeah, definitely. No one's really doing well over there this year.
Right now, Boston has 34 points. Ottawa has 27. So, I mean, they played 30 games, but, I mean, even they're only 3 wins behind Zach's Montreal Canadiens, and only 3 points behind them. So, it's not out of the question for them to come back.
Oh, definitely not. Stringing together a couple wins here and there, and you're right back in it for sure.
Yeah, and you never know what'll happen, post-winter break even.
Yeah, coming off of Christmas, what happens? Players get maybe a little rejuvenated, come back a little better, with a fresh mindset, and maybe it'll show in the standings for sure.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting that rumor came out last week that the Senators had requested no trade lists from all their players, or that had the no trade clause in their contract.
No, that actually happened. Karlsson's confirmed that he submitted that list.
And that was all players, not just Karlsson.
Yeah, it was every single player on a no-trade contract. So I think that's just a matter of wanting to know where you're at, what pieces you can move. Yeah, it'll be interesting. There was also something that came out from Kyle Turris recently, who said that Melnick is the reason that he isn't in Ottawa anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
they're definitely a team where you see their owner meddles quite a bit.
Yeah, and they definitely shouldn't be that involved. Yeah. I mean, you want to kind of control what your team is doing and where your team is going, but to specifically call out a player like that, that's a little iffy on the owner's part.
Yeah, Kyle Turris, I'm just pulling up, I want to get his exact quote. It's on a few different sources. It's on Sportsnet and CBC. I'm just waiting for it to load. But, yeah, it sounds like, in his opinion, Melnick didn't want to stay. Of course, the club's going to deny that. It's the same as anything where, it's... I think they said they offered him the same contract and he wouldn't sign. Let's see. Pierre.
Because kind of staying on the whole tourist trade deal, even while you're still looking that up, Duchesne definitely hasn't succeeded well in Ottawa so far.
No, but I think that Ottawa's a very different system than Colorado. Also, he's been on a team that's been bad for so long that's different. And also, it's completely different players than what he's played with in the past. So I think there's a certain amount of settling in that comes with that. He had a great start to the year, so I think that right now he's underperforming for what he's capable of. Because he's demonstrated in the past that he's an excellent player. So
for sure, I'll definitely give him some more time to get used to Ottawa's everything that's going on in Ottawa. Their plays, just living in a Canadian town again now.
Yeah.
Definitely give him some more time with that before I start judging the trade a bit more. But definitely initially, it's not looking great right now for Ottawa.
No. So the exact quote from Turris, at least according to Sportsnet, is, "It's tough because I think management did want me to sign, but I think that the owner didn't, and that was his decision." So I think that's very interesting, and if that doesn't happen, maybe the Duchesne deal doesn't get done.
Very true. Interesting developments out there in Ottawa, indeed. Uh, yeah, I mean, Karlsson can demand all this stuff, but he's not having the best start to the season this year either, is he?
No, part of that comes from the fact that, he had the issues with the tendons in his feet at the end of the playoffs, where, insane that he played through that, but he had to get surgery. So he essentially missed a whole summer of training and training camp. So,
Right.
That's going to impact your play.
Yeah, I mean, coming back from that ankle injury and having to learn to play basically on a new ankle like that, just learning how to skate again, almost in a way. Yeah, like you said, missing all of summer training, missing all of training camp, just getting back into the groove. It's definitely taken a toll on him to start the season so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
For
that's
sure.
not something to be underestimated, the impact that has.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he eventually picks it up or if this is a year-long thing, and then maybe that affects his contract that he gets in the next year with Ottawa or with a different team.
I think that, like it or not, his team or his play over the course of his career, it stems for regardless of whether or not he's having a bad year right now. I don't think that that'll lead to him not getting a big contract.
He'll get a decent contract, but I think possibly having this little bit of an injury and having this time off will definitely affect it a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if it doesn't pick up at the end of the season here.
Yeah, he's currently sitting 18th in league scoring among defensemen.
He has what, 1 goal this year?
Let me see. 1 goal, 18 assists for 19 points. He's about, 8 points behind the leading scorer. So,
Oh, okay. So not crazy far off, but
yeah,
it's
as far as goals go, let's look who has the most goals among defensemen. Zach Werenski has the most with 9. And then we've got Sergachev and Petrangelo have 7 each. And then a bunch of players with 6 goals.
oh, okay. Yeah, interesting.
I'm just trying to see how many games he's played. He's played 25 games, so also less than most other defensemen.
Oh, okay. So he still has time to catch up, but definitely surprising considering last year he was near the top of like all scoring for forwards and defensemen.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising. But we'll see. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll pick it up eventually. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I mean, if Ottawa starts coming around as well and starts playing better as a team, then you can guarantee that his confidence will come back around and he'll start putting the puck in the back of the net a little more.
Yeah.
For sure. Anything else you want to talk about Karlsson or Ottawa? Anything interesting you've heard about them?
I think that's pretty much everything. I'm sure whether or not the cap goes up this next year will impact everything as well. But, yeah, definitely, like I said, I don't think that it's great for team morale to have your captain come out and make statements that sound like he isn't going to want to stay.
Yeah, especially the captain. That's a big part of your team and your team morale right there.
Yeah, well, Ottawa's built around Erik Karlsson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely a strong player out there. Good influence on their team.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, if we're done with Ottawa, let's move. Talk a little bit more about the young guys scoring in the NHL these days. The rookie scoring race. You want to give us a quick update in the top 3, top 5 in the top scoring there?
Yeah, so Brock Besser's reclaimed his lead. He has 29 points. Matthew Barzal is sitting second with 28. His are mostly assists, so he's more of the playmaker to Besser being more of a goal scorer. But after that, you have DeBrincat with Chicago and Keller with Arizona. They both have 23 points. And then
Okay.
Alex Kerfoot of Colorado with 21 points.
Oh, Kerfoot. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting about him. I think I mentioned that last week too.
Everyone forgets about him, but which is quite funny because he was one of the big stories over the summer because he was one of the guys. So he was drafted by New Jersey and chose to sign with Colorado, and then Will Butcher was drafted by Colorado and chose to sign with New Jersey. So they just traded off those top college prospects.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I keep forgetting about him in general. I shouldn't. I mean, he was one of the big stories of the off season. So
I think it's because he plays for Colorado, and most people don't care about Colorado.
yeah, I guess that must be it.
I mean, I only know because I've been watching their games, but
Right, I forgot about that. You're the Colorado fan now. How's Colorado doing these days?
good.
Winning,
I haven't had a
losing?
lot of time to watch their games because exams. But
Fair enough.
yeah, let me see. They've been doing. I mean, they're pretty even keel at this point. They're towards the bottom of the Western Conference, but you don't actually expect them to be in the top this season.
No.
Their record is 3-6-1 right now, but I think right now they're still developing. I mean, especially with the Duchesne trade, they went very young, and so they got some good players, but you have to wait for everyone to develop. So I think that they have the pieces in place to become a really good team in the future.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely building around. I mean, if you can build around a guy like a first overall pick, like McKinnon,
Yeah.
definitely you're on track to contend in a few years. Did you see his goal from the other night? Like the highlight reel goal?
I don't think I did.
Oh man, that was a beauty goal.
He's had quite
Deked
a
out
few.
some guys, top corner, top cheese, just beauty goal.
Do you know
Yeah,
his
he scored some
names?
pretty nice goals. That's a great question. I am not too sure actually. I don't know off the top of my head.
Nice.
It was just the other night. It was like 2 nights ago.
Oh, it's probably against Washington then.
Could be.
But yeah, so Colorado currently sits 24th in the league, ahead of the Montreal Canadiens. But they have 30 points, and really they're 5 points out of the playoff spot right now.
It's not too bad.
No.
Definitely catchable, right? Like an easy catch again.
Yeah, it's a very makeable thing still. Unfortunately for them, they're in the Central Division, so
They're going to have to get a wild card spot
yep.
if they can somehow win against other teams. Yeah, back to our rookie scoring, though. It's kind of interesting. I think Besser is definitely going to come around here yet. He's played 2 less games than everyone kind of around him in the scoring race there, and with injuries to key players out in Vancouver, he's definitely being relied a little bit more on for scoring.
Yeah, it's definitely a good situation for him. I mean, of course, I want him to fall, but that's just because I'd like to see Barzal take that title. But regardless, he's doing great, and it's awesome for Vancouver if they now have him as kind of one of the young players to build around. If they ever figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Now that we know how to say his last name, Besser.
Besser?
Bozer? Besser? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never know. Barzal's been doing really well as of late as well. I think he had kind of a slow start, and he's come around quite a bit recently, right?
He didn't really have a slow start. I took him a while to get on the point board, but if you watched him play, it was just bad puck luck. But honestly, once they moved Jordan Eberle down to his line, they started Eberle off with Tavares because that's who you think that he's going to click with. As soon as they moved him down to that Barzal line, they've been great. Him, Everly, and I think it's Ladd we usually have on that line. They're an awesome combination, awesome line, and I think that their chemistry has really helped Barzal out. Definitely a lot of Everly's goals are coming off of assists from Barzal, so. Yeah, all those great things we received from Edmonton.
Good times.
Even Beauvillier.
Good times.
Actually, the Edmonton trade that we got Barzal in also led to us getting Anthony Beauvillier.
And he's been doing well, right?
He's having a slow sophomore season, which isn't unusual.
Oh, okay.
He's doing well. It's, again, zero puck luck for that kid right now.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting a puck in the net a couple times and getting your confidence back. And
yeah,
goals will come.
He might not have scored for all of November.
Oh, really?
Or not gotten a goal for all of November. Like, he got the occasional point, but so he's only got 6 points on the year, 3 goals, 3 assists.
Okay. Well, hopefully he comes around yet and burns the Oilers a little bit more.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I'd appreciate that. Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, I guess we can kind of keep talking about standings here a bit as well. Our usual standings roundup that we talk about every week. When usually we talk about a hot team, they go cold. The cold teams go hot. That kind of thing.
Yeah, so your top 3 teams are once again Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and LA. None of those are shocking. Nashville's actually up in the top 10 again.
Yeah, they've kind of climbed up again now, hey?
Yeah, Pekarine's been pretty good for them this year so far. I think Juicy Saros, when he came back, he's started to get a bit of his groove back after a really slow start. Did some time in the AHL, and I think his first game back, he got a shutout. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and I mean.
Current save percentage is an .890, but.
He might come around yet.
He
is coming around. I mean, you have a couple bad games at the start of the year, and you got to work your way back at getting a decent save percentage again, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a 22-year-old, 5'11" goalie.
Yeah. There's nothing to him.
Yeah. Well, he's one
That's pretty short for a goalie these days.
He's one of the 2 shortest goalies in the league, I think.
Him and...
Yaroslav Halak, who is also 5'11".
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until this year. I went down a rabbit hole of looking up goalie heights, and yeah, Halak's only 5'11".
I would not have guessed that.
No, I was shocked by that. Yeah, and then Pekarine is, either a hot or cold goalie, but so far this year he's definitely held down the fort for Nashville. He has a .927 save percentage so far, so he's definitely
so super decent.
He's still doing his job as their number 1 goaltender. And as long as he's doing well, then you can, have Saros, who may not be doing his best, but you can get him in and start to train him. And I still think that Saros can develop into their number 1 goalie, just he might not be there yet.
Yeah, you got to give him a little more time here. Leave Rene to have the reins there in Nashville for a while yet, and then Saros hopefully will take over for him here eventually.
Yeah.
Keep looking at the standings here. Where else? Vegas is still hanging around up there, of course. No, they got Fleury back as well. Some decent, healthy goaltending.
Yeah. Yeah, the shocking teams still be up there, but
how they do it, I don't know, but hey, they're fun to watch.
I think it's just a team of players who have something to prove.
Yeah, it must be. That's one of the only logical explanations. It's like we talked about a few weeks ago. It's just everybody's clicking there. They just want to perform well in their first year, and it's working for them so far.
short and still have scoring power so far, I think.
Yeah, definitely. March so is coming around now. Finally, Karlsson is leading them in goals. James Neal is still doing well for them. Yeah, Vegas is a fun team to watch. Dallas. Kind of sitting in the middle of the pack there right now. A little closer to the top, I guess. How's Ben Bishop doing these days out in Dallas?
Still not the solution to their problem. He has a 909
No.
save percentage. Realistically, for Dallas, the only reason why Dallas is still sitting where they are is because they have scoring power. But eventually, that luck's going to run out. And we've seen it where they've been very up and down this season. So, everyone seemed to think that Ben Bishop was going to be the solution. As of right now, he really isn't. Just looking up to see what Kari Letnin's.
Letton. Yeah.
Because I don't think it's that far off of that. Just pull up Hockey DB. Letnin is currently sitting at a 913. So, you're not really getting a whole lot from Bishop. I'm just pulling up to see what they're actually paying him on that, nice new contract that he got.
Yeah. Who did they last beat? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's the Islanders, and that 5-2 win.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My team kind of sucks.
Good to know. Hey, at least you're sitting in a playoff spot.
They are. I don't know how some nights.
Out of our three teams, yours is the only one there. I mean, I'm tied for a playoff spot at least. But
yeah. No, I feel like every time I turn on and watch the Islanders, they lose. So I haven't been watching as many of their games. Been watching more Colorado games instead.
Because you don't really care in a way. You care, but you don't really care.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise when they win. If they lose,
but if they
Colorado.
lose, that's good to know. Good old Colorado. Yeah.
Mark with thoughts on LTIR for the Stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I missed that.
Feel like I should have known that, I guess.
Same. Look up what happened.
When did that happen?
I was looking it up.
Okay.
December 1st, he's projected to return in 4 to 6 weeks, and it's a knee injury.
Oh, okay. So not like crazy long. It's just 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
When you say LTIR, I always think like 4 or 6 months, like long term.
Well, it's a knee, so you say 4 to 6 weeks. Knees can be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to see if there's any other notable players on injured reserve. They don't list it on Cap Friendly. The biggest one that I know for my team, at least, is Nikolai Kulemin, but that's... I don't think he went on injured reserve.
Nope.
Yeah, other than that, Team Canada, World Juniors, have started their selection camp now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like to watch that, for sure. Always get hyped whenever you hear the little jingle from TSN hyping up the World Juniors in a couple weeks. Gets you right back in the mood to watch hockey for that again. So
yeah, it's great. You can see how important it is to Canada just in the fact that every other year it's so big here that they host it in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when you think about how many other major sporting events that are worldwide come back to the same country every other year.
No, not too many.
Yeah, so they'll be in Buffalo this year, I believe it is.
Yeah, including an outdoor game on New Year's Eve between Canada and US. That'll be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's by this point it's almost tradition that Canada and the US always play New Year's Eve. I always remember them having the game that day, but I mean that's one of the biggest games of that tournament every year. And it'll be one of our only times to see a Canada-Russia game this year.
Canada-Russia, yeah. Yeah, anything else we need to talk about, mention? It's been kind of a slow week overall, I think, other than Ottawa.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, other than that,
Karlsson.
though. That's pretty much taken up the whole hockey world right there, so.
Other than that, the Habs are great. They're fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean...
I fully believe that they're going to win the Stanley Cup. 100%.
Of course. Oh, yeah. I mean, turning it around for sure.
I believe in that more than my ability to pass my classes.
Okay, let's go with that. That's quite the dedication you have there for Montreal, Lauren. I appreciate it. Okay, well, I guess that wraps up this episode of the LampLighters podcast. Thanks again for listening. Once again, appreciate your support. It's been a lot of fun doing this still. Yeah, I guess on behalf of the absent Zach Hampton and Lauren Smith, I'm Jaylen Corver, and have a good night.
Don't forget to light that lamp.
Hey.